It was a sunny and lovely day. The 3-year-old little boy asked his parents to take him to the playground. However, the parents had to go to work, and they said to their son,
"My dearest son, we are so sorry that we can't take you to the playground today because we have to go to work. Maybe this coming Sunday."
They looked regretful, and the son felt so down. The 8-year-old sister heard them talking. Then she went out from the bedroom and said to her parents,
"I can take my brother to the playground. I will take care of him well. Please don't worry."
"Are you sure?"
said the parents. The sister showed a confident expression and gave a thumbs up. The little boy was so happy. After saying goodbye to their parents, they both went to the playground happily. The little boy was so excited when he saw so many children playing on the playground. They were playing on the seesaw, playing in the sand pit, playing on the slide, and some children were playing on the rocking horses. The little boy quickly ran towards the children and played with them, and the sister sat on the long-backed bench to watch her brother. After a while, she felt sleepy and took a nap against the back of the bench. She slept before she knew it. A wilted leaf with the breeze gently blew on her face, and she woke up. She looked at the playground to look for signs of her brother. However, she didn't find him and was startled by it. She ran to the playground and looked around in terror, continuously shouting for her brother. She asked the adults who were in the playground whether they saw her brother, but they failed to see him. She was so desperate and hurriedly ran along the playground, hoping that she could find him. Time flew for an hour. She still hadn't found him. Her clothes were soaked with sweat and she was out of breath. The dawn was coming. Just when she was about to give up, she was attracted by some shiny lights coming from the lake. She glanced at the middle of the lake and noticed that there was a boat with a small figure looking like a human. The small figure looked familiar. Her instinct led her to believe it. Although she was unsure, she decided to take a risk and gather up the courage to investigate it. She looked around at the edge of the lake to find something she could reach, and she discovered a scuffed boat and an oar beside the lake. She jumped into the boat and took the oar, then slowly rowed towards the small boat. When she approached it, she found that the one inside the small boat was her brother. He got fully wet and was gasping for breath. With his eyes half open, he looked pale with thin lips. It seemed that he had gone through a harrowing experience.
"Are you okay?"
she said nervously.
"I was being naughty, and I nearly drowned. I'm so sorry."
The brother spoke weakly. She let her brother lie down in the boat and rowed back to the shore. She sought help, but there was nobody around the playground. She looked around and luckily she found a trolley. She immediately put her brother on the trolley and pulled it to the road, hoping that someone could help them. It was incredibly lucky that there was an ambulance in the distance. She rushed to the road and waved her hands frantically, hoping that they could see her. It was such a miracle that the ambulance noticed her. It stopped and a staff member came out to examine her. She told everything that happened, and the staff took them to hospital as soon as possible. The sister phoned her parents and told them everything in a tearful and panicked tone with her tears streaming down. After a while, they reached the hospital. The staff in hospital administered first aid to the brother and asked the police officers to stay with her and offer words of comfort. After some time, their parents arrived at the hospital and met their daughter. They three held each other tightly, and the parents comforted her not to worry about her brother. He would be fine. The first aid had been completed. The doctor came out of the emergency room and saw their parents. The doctor stood in front of them, looking serious with an air of unease.
We are so regretful to say that your son has passed away. We are so sorry, and we have tried our best,"
said the doctor sadly. The parents and sister dashed to the emergency room to see their son. The son's face looked very pale with very thin skin. They held their son and burst out crying uncontrollably.
"I am so sorry. I didn't take care of him well enough. Please forgive me."
The sister sobbed mournfully to her parents.
Don't blame yourself. It is not your fault.
The parents said and comforted her. Suddenly there was a beam of light shining above the brother. The sister lifted up her head to stare at it. The light was gentle and warm. However, the parents seemed not to see the light. Only the sister did. Moments later, an angel appeared with a lovely smile. She had long hair and her face was shiny. The surroundings of her were so bright. She approached the brother and said,
"Please follow me, and I will lead you to the place where you live peacefully."
Then the soul of the brother raised up slowly and floated in the air. The soul woke up, looked at his sister and said,
I feel so delighted at this moment that I wasn't before. I feel so calm and relaxed. Dearest sister, please don't blame yourself. It is my fault, not yours. I will go to an extraordinary place, and I know I will be much happier there. Please tell our parents that I love them so much. I feel so happy to be their son.
Then the angel held one of the brother's hands and both flew into the light. Shortly after, the light went. Everything was going to be normal. The parents still cried and held their son's body. But the sister didn't cry anymore and showed a trace of a smile. She seemed so happy to know that her brother would have a better next life. The angel took the brother's soul to heaven and met the Mother of Heaven. She met the brother and said,
"You have a very kind heart, and we all can feel it. Your soul has been liberated, and you may live here peacefully. There are so many children you can play with. Are you willing to live here, my dearest?"
Dearest mother, I am very willing to live here. It is the place which I believe is the most free from worldly strife.
he said, lifting his head and nodding to the Mother of Heaven. And the little boy ascended to heaven and lived there happily forever,